Welcome back to the Dr. Brooke Scheller Show. If you've been eating better, cutting back on alcohol, doing the work, but you still feel anxious, foggy, and kind of off, then this one is for you. I want to talk about something that almost nobody is connecting to mood and mental health, and yet I see it constantly in my clients, and I've even experienced it myself. Dehydration. I know, you might be rolling your eyes and thinking that's the big secret, Brooke. Well, stick with me because this is not just the drink more water advice that you've heard 100 times over. There's actually a lot more going on here, and we're going to break it down in today's episode. Now, here's the problem with dehydration. Its symptoms look exactly like anxiety, exactly like low mood, and exactly like brain fog and poor focus. And I know that you have experienced each of these things, and I'm certain that at some point it has been from dehydration. I'm talking about symptoms like irritability, difficulty concentrating, low energy, feeling on edge, headaches, even that low-grade feeling that something just isn't right, that feeling of being blah. So if you're already navigating the emotional ups and downs of life, especially if you're cutting back on alcohol, dehydration can be silently piling it on, and you'd never even know that it was a separate thing happening in your body. Here's what makes this even trickier. We are genuinely bad at knowing when we are dehydrated, like worse than you think. And most people think that thirst is the signal. And if they're thirsty, that means they're dehydrated. And if they're not thirsty, that means they're fine. But thirst is actually a late stage cue. And research suggests that by the time you feel thirsty, you may already be 1 to 2% dehydrated. And even that small of an amount is enough to affect your mood, your focus, and your anxiety levels. You don't have to be dramatically dehydrated to feel it mentally. Trust me, you have experienced this before, and before you go running off to try different things, make sure that hydration is in check. And for people who have been drinking alcohol regularly, it's even more complicated. Alcohol is a diuretic and it makes us lose more fluid than we're taking in, but on the flip side, it also suppresses the hormones that regulate our thirst. So we don't have as much clarity of that feeling of dehydration or that feeling of thirst. So our body's early warning signals are dulled. You stop getting these accurate signals of thirst or dehydration. And when you cut back on alcohol, that system is still recalibrating, which is part of the reason why so many people feel worse when they go through early sobriety or alcohol reduction. So how do you know if you're actually hydrated? There are a few practical ways, easy things that you can do at home that I like to share with my clients to identify more about your hydration status. The first is urine color. I know it's not super glamorous, but it is genuinely one of the best indicators in real time that we have to look at hydration status. So if urine is a pale straw yellow color, that means you're in a good place. If it's dark yellow or amber, this can mean that you're behind, that you are dehydrated. And if it's completely clear, this can actually mean that you may have overdone it and flushed out some of the important minerals that your body needs. The second is timing and patterns. Noticing when your mood dips, your focus drops, or your anxiety creeps up. If it tends to happen mid-morning or mid-afternoon, ask yourself, how much water have I had today? A lot of us are running on coffee in the morning with almost no water, and that is a recipe for an anxious, foggy afternoon. And the third sign is what we call skin turgor, or the pinch test. If you gently pinch the skin on the back of your hand and it is slow to bounce back, this can actually be a sign of dehydration. And you can do this at different points throughout the day, throughout the week, and see how your skin changes. It's not a foolproof solution, but it is something that your body is telling you. The point is not to obsess over these signals. It's just starting to build awareness because many of us have been ignoring these signs and signals for years. Now, you might be thinking that you've heard electrolytes are the answer, and electrolytes do matter. Minerals like magnesium, potassium, sodium play a very real role in how our nervous system functions and how our body holds on to water. But here's my issue with a lot of the electrolyte products on the market today. Many of them are loaded with sugar and artificial flavors and ingredients that can actually work against us, especially if mood and anxiety are part of our concern. Not only are we spending lots of money on these packets, but we can actually get good sources of minerals and hydration using whole food sources. And I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like in this week's paid Substack, including some super simple recipes that you can make at home at different times of the day. I know hydration can feel almost too simple to be a real answer for mood and anxiety, but it's so easy to dismiss it and overlook it. And that's why I want you to take a look at that this week and see if this is something that helps to improve your energy, your mood, your anxiety, your mental clarity, and your focus, and so much more. In my clinical life and in my own life, it's one of the first things that I look at because it's so commonly missed and so easy to address. So this is your sign right now to go grab a glass of water and take a drink. If this resonated with you, the full deep dive is in this week's paid Substack. I go into what actually works and I share some of my favorite whole food mineral water recipes that your nervous system will thank you for. And if you found this helpful, please make sure to share it with someone who's on their journey to better health, who's looking for improvements to mood and anxiety, or maybe even someone who's on a journey to cutting back or drinking less alcohol. This may be exactly what they need to hear. I'll see you next time.